Oh, greetings, adventurers. This is DM Kurt. Sorry it's been so long. That's entirely on me. Haven't put out a little content in a while. Anyway, we are in December, mid-December, the 18th. And how is 2024 looking for WotC? What would I grade them? I would grade them with a D grade. Not A, not B, barely even C. Didn't do well. Okay, so I think the big thing is they had the new 2024 edition of D&D, which they didn't label as a 6th edition, and they don't really have it well labeled. You know, what is it? I've read the DM's guide and the player's handbook, and, well, it's a 5 point something. You know, it's not great. It's somewhat backwards compatible with 5e, but it's not really the same. But it's pretty much just a reorganization. I would say that the player's handbook for 5.x or whatever you want to call it, 2024, it's got some pros and some cons. All right. For example, okay, the exhaustion rules, simpler. Okay, it's just you have a -2 on all die rolls for each level of exhaustion up to 6 levels, and then you just croak. Okay, that's simpler than the exhaustion rules before. They moved some of the abilities out of first level for various classes and to like second level, so you don't have this one level dip multi-class just cheese nonsense. I kind of appreciate that. I think that was a good move. But the book was also a little overstuffed. I felt that having well over 300 pages makes it a really thick book, and that can be daunting to the first-time player. You are 30 pages in before you even start on character creation. That's a little much. So it's got its pros and its cons. I talked with a younger player who is in his late teens, and his first impression is, I mean, the art's not bad. Some of the art's good, but there's too much of it. It's just padding it out. Some of the older players and some of the older DMs have remarked that some of the artwork is garbage. And that's their opinion. And, you know, I could go back through some of the older editions and I could cherry pick out some really nice art and some bad art. I'm not even going to have that argument right now. The problem is the missed opportunity. Okay? You have 2024, the 50th anniversary of D&D, and you put out a new edition. Not only is it kind of not really a new edition, but you only have 2 of the 3 core books out for the year. The Monster Manual is still somewhere in 2025. I would say that, you know, maybe a t-shirt would be nice. OGGM mentioned that. Hey, 50th anniversary, have a t-shirt. People love t-shirts. We're in December. It's almost late to do Christmas shopping, but you know what? A 50th anniversary t-shirt, that would have sold. They have some trinkets. They have some anniversary stuff. Maybe you should have taken a look at Harley Davidson circa early to mid 2000s. You know, they're another lifestyle brand. I mean, they used to be about making motorcycles, and then they switched over to making merchandise and then also selling some motorcycles on the side for people who wanted to pretend to be bikers. You know? And they made a ton of money off of keychains and jackets and t-shirts and coffee mugs and all this other crap. You know? Lifestyle brand. The current model for D&D is, hey, can we maybe switch it into a subscription online model? And they're kind of off into that land with D&D Beyond. And what is D&D Beyond? Have they done the VTT yet? Not exactly. Well, the Chinese Year of the Dragon coincided with 2024, your 50th anniversary. That coincidence? You could lock that in. And there's your missing opportunity. Now, 2024 also saw a departure of Kyle Brink from Hasbro WotC, famously known as the Wizards of the Coast executive who said that basically people who look like me, i.e. white males, can't leave the hobby fast enough. And they let him stay on for another year because they don't really mind that message. And now we have Jason Tondro, formerly of Paizo, so there's a hint. And with him saying that, the older players aren't worth listening to. I mean, to heck with you, why would these older players, some of which have, money in their pockets, why would you want to push out the existing players for possibly you're going to bring in a few more new players with talk like that? Just being disrespectful to your fan base? Speaking of disrespectful, you got this big coffee table book, okay, The History of D&D, and it's put out well in advance of Christmas. Perfect seller, The people who are family of D&D players are going to see this big coffee table book and go, you know what? That'd be a great gift idea. And a great big forward in the front saying Gary Gygax was a big fat jerk. I paraphrase. Again, why would you do that? This is where you're getting your D grade. I don't know. Wizards of the Coast, realize that you're traveling forward with momentum and weight of the name on the front of your IP. But you still need to put out a decent product because there's a fair number of independents that are out there and they're selling products too. And some of the players that you're ticking off are going to take their friends with them over into greener pastures that don't tell them that because of your race or gender you're not welcome anymore, or your age. But for inclusivity, you want to get rid of those people, which, don't worry about that logic. Anyway, yeah, Wizards of the Coast, I'm rating you a D. Good night.